ever wondered how to make the perfect Jamaican jerk chicken? If you have, then you're in for a treat. Jamaican cuisine is a vibrant blend of flavors, a testament to the island's rich cultural history. It's a cuisine that dances on your palate, with each bite revealing a new depth of flavor. A prime example of this culinary wonder is the iconic Jamaican jerk chicken. The magic of jerk chicken lies in its unique spice blend and cooking method. A deliciously spicy homemade marinade is the heart of this dish, made from ingredients like fragrant allspice, fiery scotch bonnet peppers, and zesty lime. The flavors are then amplified by grilling the chicken over an open flame, which imparts a smoky flavor that's the signature of authentic jerk chicken. But the real secret? It's all about the marinade and the slow, patient grilling. So buckle up, because today we'll be making the perfect Jamaican jerk chicken from scratch. To start off, gather all the necessary ingredients. This culinary journey to Jamaica begins in our pantry, where we'll need to pull together an array of spices. Let's start with the classics: ground allspice and dried thyme. These two are the backbone of any good jerk seasoning, providing a warm, earthy base. Then we'll need a smattering of other spices to add complexity to our marinade. Think along the lines of cinnamon, nutmeg, and a dash of brown sugar for sweetness. Now let's turn up the heat a notch with the star of our marinade, habanero peppers. These fiery delights will add the signature kick to our jerk chicken. If you're not one for heat, feel free to adjust the quantity to your liking. But remember, a jerk chicken without a bit of spice is like a beach without sand. Moving on, we'll need to add in some fresh elements to our marinade: a handful of green onions, a couple of cloves of garlic, and the zest and juice of one lime. These will bring a fresh zing to balance out the heat and deepen the flavor profile of our marinade. Next, we need the main event: a whole chicken, fresh, plump, and ready to soak up all the flavors we're about to introduce it to. We'll also need a bit of vegetable oil, apple cider vinegar, and soy sauce for that extra layer of flavor, and to help our marinade adhere to the chicken. Lastly, don't forget about the salt and pepper. These humble seasonings are often overlooked, but they're key in bringing out the flavors of all our other ingredients. With all our ingredients ready, let's move on to the preparation. Trust me, the aroma that's about to fill your kitchen will make you feel like you've been transported straight to the heart of Jamaica. First, we need to properly prepare our chicken. Now, this is a step you don't want to gloss over, because it's crucial in ensuring the marinade penetrates the chicken thoroughly, giving us that mouth-watering, flavor-packed jerk chicken we're aiming for. We're starting with a whole chicken here. Yes, a whole chicken. Don't be intimidated. This is an opportunity to show off your culinary prowess. First things first, place the chicken on a clean, flat surface, breast side down. Now, find the backbone. It's that hard ridge running from the neck to the tail. We're going to cut along both sides of this with a sharp pair of kitchen shears. This is called spatchcocking, or butterflying, the chicken. It ensures even cooking and, importantly, allows our marinade to work its magic on more of the chicken's surface area. Once you've removed the backbone, flip the chicken over. Press down firmly on the breastbone until you hear a crack. This flattens the chicken, helping it cook evenly on the grill. Now pat the chicken dry with paper towels. This will help the skin to crisp up beautifully when we grill it. Now, for a little extra flavor punch, we're going to score the chicken. This means making shallow cuts in the meat, particularly in the thicker parts like the breasts and thighs. Not too deep, just enough to let that marinade seep in. Next, we're going to trim any excess skin or fat. Keep in mind, a little fat is good. It's going to melt and baste the chicken as it grills, but too much can cause flare-ups on the grill. So trim the excess, but don't go overboard. And voila, you've successfully prepped your chicken. It's a bit of work, but trust me, it's worth it. This process makes all the difference in ensuring your chicken is juicy, tender, and packed full of that spicy Jamaican jerk flavor. Now that our chicken is ready, let's prepare the marinade. The secret to a great jerk chicken lies in its marinade. Yes, indeed, the heart and soul of this tantalizing dish is the vibrant, spicy, and aromatic marinade that transforms a simple chicken into a culinary masterpiece. This marinade, steeped in the tradition of Jamaican cuisine, is an alchemical blend of herbs, spices, and peppers. It's a symphony of flavors that dances on the palate, a medley of heat, sweetness, tang, and savory notes that are nothing short of magical. And the magic begins with the right ingredients. To create this homemade Jamaican jerk marinade, we'll be using a combination of spices that are quintessential to Caribbean cuisine. Allspice, also known as pimento in Jamaica, is the star of the show. Its unique flavor, reminiscent of cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves, is the backbone of our marinade. Next, we have thyme, bringing an earthy and slightly minty flavor to our blend. Then there's cinnamon and nutmeg, two spices that add a touch of warmth and sweetness, echoing the tropical origins of this dish. We'll also be using brown sugar to balance out the heat and acidity, and salt to enhance all the other flavors. Then comes the heat. Scotch bonnet peppers, or habanero if you can't find the former, provide the characteristic kick to this marinade. But remember, the goal is flavorful heat, not searing pain, so adjust the quantity of peppers to your liking. Now to these dry ingredients, we add the wet ones. Soy sauce for umami and depth, vinegar for tanginess, and orange juice for a touch of tropical sweetness. We also include a generous amount of garlic and ginger, both of which bring their distinctive flavors to the mix. Now that we have our ingredients, it's time to assemble our marinade. Start by grinding the allspice berries in a mortar and pestle. This releases the essential oils, enhancing their flavor. Then, combine all the dry ingredients in a bowl and mix them well. Next, we move on to the wet ingredients. First, squeeze the juice out of the orange. Then, finely chop the garlic and ginger. Remember, the smaller the pieces, the more flavor they release. Combine the wet ingredients in a separate bowl. Now it's time to bring the heat. Chop the scotch bonnet or habanero peppers. Be careful while handling them, as the oils can cause a burning sensation. If you're sensitive to heat, use gloves. And remember to discard the seeds if you want less heat. With all our components ready, it's time to unite them. Pour the wet ingredients into the bowl of dry ingredients and stir until well combined. The result should be a thick, aromatic paste, a riot of colors and smells that promises a feast of flavors. And there you have it, our homemade Jamaican jerk marinade. But we're not done yet. The real magic happens when the marinade meets the chicken. The flavors seep into the meat, tenderizing it and infusing it with a depth and complexity that is the hallmark of a great jerk chicken. So let's recap. We've ground our allspice, mixed our dry and wet ingredients separately, chopped our peppers, and combined everything into a flavorful paste. We've created a marinade that is a celebration of Jamaican cuisine, a testament to the power of herbs, spices, and peppers. With our marinade ready, it's time to marinate the chicken. Let's move on to the next step in our culinary journey, where we'll see how this marinade transforms our chicken from the ordinary to the extraordinary. The journey to the perfect jerk chicken continues. Now we move on to the fun part, marinating the chicken. Picture this, a succulent chicken bathing in a pool of vibrant, spicy, homemade Jamaican jerk marinade. It's not just your everyday marinade, but a concoction bursting with flavors, featuring the tang of vinegar, the heat of habanero peppers, the sweetness of brown sugar, the earthy notes of allspice, and the freshness of thyme and garlic. It's a symphony of flavors, all set to play a beautiful tune on your palate. To begin with, ensure your chicken is clean and dry. Pat it down with a paper towel if you need to. This will allow the marinade to cling better to the chicken, ensuring it seeps in and imparts a rich, robust flavor to every bite. Next, take your prepared marinade and pour it over the chicken. Ensure it covers every inch of the bird, from the wings to the drumsticks. Use your hands to massage the marinade into the chicken, ensuring a thorough coating. Don't be afraid to get your hands a bit dirty. It's all part of the process. Remember, the marinade is the heart of the jerk chicken. It's where all the magic happens. Now here's a little secret. Don't just marinate the outside of the chicken. Make small incisions in the meat and apply the marinade inside as well. This way, the flavor penetrates deeper, making for a truly mouth-watering experience. Once the chicken is well coated, it's time to let it soak up all those wonderful flavors. Place the chicken in a large bowl, cover it, and let it sit in the fridge. Now, you might be tempted to rush this step, But trust me, patience pays off. Marinating isn't just about flavor. It's also about tenderizing the meat. The acid in the marinade helps break down the proteins, making the chicken more tender and juicy. So while you might think a quick half-hour soak is enough, I'd recommend leaving it for at least 4 to 6 hours. And if you really want to amplify the flavors, leave it overnight. Think of it as a beauty sleep for the chicken. It goes in looking plain and ordinary, but it wakes up transformed, infused with an explosion of flavors, ready to sizzle and dance on the grill. And that's it. That's how we marinate the chicken for our spicy Jamaican jerk dish. It's a simple process, but it makes a world of difference to the end result. Remember, the secret to a great jerk chicken lies in its marinade. So take your time, let the flavors meld, and let the chicken soak up all that goodness. While our chicken is marinating, let's get our grill ready. The unique flavor of jerk chicken comes from grilling it on an open fire. Now, let's dive into the process of preparing our Santa Maria grill, a crucial step to infuse our chicken with that distinct, smoky flavor we all adore. First things first, it's all about the heat. The Santa Maria grill is known for its adjustable grate, allowing us to control the heat intensity. We want a medium-high heat for our jerk chicken, a temperature that sears the outside while cooking the inside perfectly. So, position your grill grate at a height where you can comfortably hold your hand for about 3 seconds before it gets too hot. Next, we need to talk about the coals. Hardwood lump charcoal is the way to go. It burns hotter and longer, and adds a subtle yet distinctive smoky flavor to the chicken. Light up your charcoal and let it burn until it's covered with a thin layer of white ash. This indicates that the coals are at the perfect temperature for grilling. Now don't forget to oil your grill grates. This prevents the chicken from sticking and makes flipping them a breeze. A simple trick is to dip a folded paper towel in a neutral oil, grab it with tongs, and rub it over the grates. Lastly, let's talk about smoke. To enhance the smoky flavor, you can add soaked wood chips on top of your charcoal. The wood chips smolder and produce smoke, which is absorbed by the chicken, giving it a deeper flavor profile. Remember, grilling is as much about patience as it is about heat. Don't rush things, let the grill do its magic. This way your chicken will have the perfect balance of a charred exterior and juicy, flavorful interior. With our grill ready and our chicken marinated, it's finally time to cook. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, cooking the jerk chicken. The Santa Maria grill, with its open fire cooking, is the perfect tool for grilling our marinated jerk chicken. Its adjustable grill grate allows for precise heat control, and when it comes to grilling, control is everything. But before we dive into the process, it's important to remind ourselves that patience is key. Perfectly grilled jerk chicken is not a rush job, it's a labor of love. Now, let's get to it. We've got our chicken beautifully marinated and our grill primed and ready. The first step is to place the chicken on the grill, skin side up. We're starting this way because the skin acts as a sort of protective layer for the meat, preventing it from drying out too quickly. While our chicken begins its journey to deliciousness, let's talk a bit about flame control. A common misconception is that grilling is all about high heat, but with jerk chicken we want a slow and steady cook, so we're aiming for a medium-low flame. This will allow the chicken to cook evenly, without burning the exterior. As the chicken cooks, we might notice some flare-ups. These are caused by the fat dripping from the chicken onto the flames. While a bit of this can add a nice smoky flavor, too much can lead to a burned bird. So we'll need to keep an eye on things and adjust the grill grate as needed to control the heat. Now, about 15 minutes into cooking, we're going to flip the chicken. This is where the Santa Maria grill shines. Its adjustable grill grate allows us to easily control the distance between the chicken and the flames, ensuring a thorough and even cook. After flipping, we'll let the chicken cook for another 15 minutes. During this time, we'll start basting the chicken with our homemade jerk sauce. This not only adds an extra layer of flavor, but also helps to keep the chicken moist and tender. Remember, patience is key here. We're not just cooking chicken, we're creating a culinary masterpiece. As we baste, we're building up layers of flavor, each one contributing to the final mouth-watering result. At about the halfway mark of our grilling process, around 30 minutes in, we're going to flip the chicken again. This will be our final flip. From here on out, it's all about maintaining a consistent heat and continuing to baste. Now, you might be wondering, how do we know when the chicken is done? Well, the most foolproof method is to use a meat thermometer. We're looking for an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. If you don't have a thermometer, another good sign is when the juices run clear when you poke the chicken with a fork. Remember, cooking times can vary based on the size of the chicken and the heat of your grill, so don't rely solely on time. Always check for doneness. After about an hour of grilling, our chicken should be cooked to perfection, but we're not quite done yet. We're going to let the chicken rest for about 10 minutes. This allows the juices to redistribute throughout the meat, resulting in a juicier, more flavorful bite. And with that, our grilling journey comes to an end. We've taken a whole chicken, marinated it in a spicy homemade Jamaican jerk marinade, and grilled it to perfection on the Santa Maria grill. It's been a process, but the result is well worth it. So whether you're a seasoned grill master or a novice cook, don't be afraid to roll up your sleeves and give this recipe a try. It's a delicious adventure in flavor that's sure to impress. And there you have it, the perfect Jamaican jerk chicken. That's it. We've made our own Jamaican jerk chicken from scratch, a process steeped in authenticity and tradition, a delightful journey of flavors that has taken us right into the heart of Jamaican cuisine. Let's take a moment to retrace our steps and savor the essence of this culinary masterpiece. We started with a simple, humble chicken, a whole bird full of potential, waiting to be transformed into a mouth-watering dish. We broke it down, preparing it with care, ensuring it was ready to absorb the symphony of flavors we were about to introduce. Next came the marinade, the soul of our jerk chicken. This wasn't just any marinade. This was a homemade Jamaican jerk marinade, a recipe passed down through generations, a melody of spices and heat that is the signature of Jamaican cuisine. We combined scotch bonnet peppers, allspice, thyme, and other spices. We threw in a few cloves of garlic, a dash of soy sauce, and a squeeze of fresh lime juice. Then we blended it all together, creating a marinade that was fiery, fragrant, and utterly irresistible. The chicken then had a lovely soak in the marinade, absorbing all those wonderful flavors, becoming infused with the heat, the spice, and the tanginess. It was a transformation, a metamorphosis, as the chicken took on the character and personality of the marinade. Our grill was next. The TMG Pitts Santa Maria Grill, an open fire cooking system that adds a unique smoky flavor to the dish. The beauty of this grill lies in its simplicity and its ability to impart a depth of flavor that's hard to replicate. The chicken, now marinated and ready, was placed on the grill. The heat from the flames, the smoke wafting up from the coals, it all worked together, cooking the chicken, turning it from raw to succulent, from ordinary to extraordinary. It was a slow process, a dance of heat and smoke, but one that was well worth the wait. And now, here we are. Our Jamaican jerk chicken is ready. The aroma is intoxicating, a heady mix of spices, smoke, and grilled meat. The chicken is beautifully charred, the skin crispy and the inside juicy, but it's the taste that truly sets it apart. The first bite is a revelation. The heat from the scotch bonnet peppers hits you first, a fiery welcome that wakes up your taste buds. Then, the complexity of the spices comes through, a symphony of flavors that is both comforting and exciting. The smokiness from the grill adds a final touch, a hint of rustic charm that ties it all together. This isn't just chicken. This is a celebration of Jamaican cuisine, a dish that is bold and vibrant, a tribute to a culture that is steeped in tradition and history. It's a taste that transports you, taking you on a culinary journey to the heart of Jamaica. It's spicy, it's smoky, it's everything you want in a jerk chicken. It's a dish that demands your attention, a dish that you will remember. And the best part? We made it ourselves, from scratch, with our own hands. There's a certain satisfaction in that, a sense of accomplishment that makes the dish taste even better. So next time you're in the mood for something spicy and flavorful, why not try making your own Jamaican jerk chicken? Enjoy. Ever found yourself craving the tantalizing heat and smoky flavor of jerk sauce? Ah, the irresistible allure of this Caribbean delight, as it dances on the tongue with its spicy, sweet and savory symphony. The love for jerk sauce is not a secret affair. It's a global sensation, a culinary romance that's been brewing for centuries, and it's easy to see why. Originating from the beautiful island of Jamaica, jerk sauce has been a cornerstone of Caribbean cuisine, a testament to the region's vibrant culture and rich history. Its roots are traced back to the indigenous Taino people who developed the jerk method of cooking, and later refined by African slaves who brought with them a plethora of spices. The result? A concoction so divine it's hard to resist. The popularity of jerk sauce goes beyond the sandy beaches and cerulean waters of Jamaica. It has spread far and wide, all the way to the bustling cities of North America, the diverse landscapes of Europe, and even the far-flung corners of Asia. Wherever you go, you're likely to find a dish that's been touched by the magic of jerk sauce. This fiery blend of spices and flavors has found its way into the hearts of many, and onto the plates of even more. It's a versatile sauce that can be used to marinate meats, as a dipping sauce, or even as a base for stews and soups. From jerk chicken to jerk tofu and everything in between, it's a sauce that adds a unique, spicy kick to any dish. But what is it about jerk sauce that makes it so loved? Is it the heat from the scotch bonnet peppers, the sweetness from the brown sugar, the tanginess from the vinegar, or the smokiness from the allspice? The truth is, it's the harmonious blend of all these flavors that makes jerk sauce a crowd pleaser. If you've been buying it off the shelf, you might wonder, can you make jerk sauce at home? Absolutely. And trust us, there's nothing quite like the satisfaction of making your own batch of homemade jerk sauce. Making jerk sauce at home requires a blend of specific ingredients. Let's start with the fiery heart of any jerk sauce, the Scotch bonnet peppers. These Caribbean natives bring the heat and a distinctive fruity flavor. Feel free to adjust the quantity to suit your spice tolerance, but remember, a little heat is essential to the authentic jerk experience. Next, we have allspice berries, the essence of Caribbean cuisine. These little powerhouses lend an aromatic mix of cinnamon, clove, and nutmeg flavors. They're the backbone of our jerk sauce, establishing that unmistakable island vibe. Green onions, also known as scallions, bring a fresh, vibrant tang. They add a subtle sweetness and a pop of color to our sauce. Fresh thyme, with its earthy, minty tones, complements the green onions, grounding the sauce with a herbaceous base. The pungency of fresh garlic and ginger is up next. Garlic adds depth and richness, while ginger provides a zesty kick. These two work in harmony to balance the bold flavors of the sauce. Soy sauce and brown sugar come into play next, introducing a sweet and salty dynamic. The soy sauce also adds a beautiful umami flavor, while the brown sugar aids in caramelization and offers a hint of molasses goodness. Bright and refreshing, lime juice cuts through the richness, adding an essential citrusy note. It's the spark that lights up all the other flavors in the sauce. Last but not least, we have our warm spices, ground cinnamon and nutmeg, along with some salt and pepper. The cinnamon and nutmeg bring a sweet, nutty warmth, while the salt and pepper are our simple seasonings that enhance all the other components. And there you have it, each ingredient playing a vital role, together creating a symphony of flavors that defines the perfect jerk sauce. It's a blend of heat, sweet, tang, and savory that brings any dish to life. Now that we have all our ingredients ready, it's time to get cooking. Creating your own jerk sauce is easier than you might think. And with a little bit of patience and a dash of courage, you'll be able to whip up an authentic Jamaican jerk sauce that's sure to add a zesty kick to any dish. So let's dive right into it, shall we? Our journey begins with the humble green onion, or scallion as it's often called. We're not just chopping these for the fun of it, though. Each slice releases essential oils that add depth to our sauce, creating a base that's both aromatic and flavorful. Next up, we have garlic. Now, garlic isn't just for warding off vampires, you know. It's a culinary powerhouse that brings a robust, pungent flavor to our sauce. Chop it up finely, but not too much. We don't want it disappearing into the sauce. We want it to stand its ground. And then we have the ginger. This spicy root adds a touch of warmth to our sauce, balancing out the heat of the peppers. Peel it and chop it up into small pieces, about the size of a pea. You'll thank me later when you're not biting into a large chunk of ginger. Now, let's talk about Scotch bonnet peppers. They're not for the faint-hearted, but they are the heart and soul of jerk sauce. Remember to handle them with care. Their heat can be quite potent. We'll need to remove the seeds and chop them up, but don't let the heat scare you off. The result will be a sauce that's fiery and flavorful, just like the spirit of Jamaica. Once we have all our ingredients chopped and ready, it's time to move on to the blending phase. This is where the magic happens. Toss everything into a blender or food processor, along with a few other essential ingredients. We're talking about soy sauce for that umami flavor, brown sugar for a hint of sweetness, and a blend of spices to really bring the sauce to life. Blend until smooth, but not too smooth. We want our sauce to have a bit of texture, a bit of character. It should look vibrant, smell aromatic, and if you're brave enough to take a small taste, it should pack a flavorful punch that leaves you wanting more. But we're not done yet. Now comes the simmering process. Pour the sauce into a saucepan and let it gently simmer on the stove. This isn't just about heating the sauce up, it's about allowing the flavors to mingle, to get to know each other, to create a harmonious blend that's greater than the sum of its parts. It's a slow process, but trust me, it's worth it. As the sauce simmers, the flavors intensify, becoming richer, deeper, and more complex. It's like a symphony of flavors, each ingredient playing its part to create a masterpiece. And after about 30 minutes to an hour of simmering, your sauce is ready. It should be thick, rich, and full of flavor. But don't just take my word for it. The true test of a good jerk sauce is in the tasting. And just like that, you've created your very own jerk sauce. But how do you know if it's any good? Well, there's only one way to find out. The proof is in the pudding, or in this case, the jerk sauce. So go ahead, give it a taste. You might just surprise yourself. The best way to know if your jerk sauce is up to par is by tasting it. Now, isn't that a delicious task to undertake? But before we dive in, let's talk about what we're looking for. The perfect jerk sauce is a symphony of flavors that should sing in perfect harmony on your palate. Firstly, we're looking for heat, that fiery kick that is the heart and soul of jerk sauce. It's the heat from the peppers that gives the sauce its signature punch. But it's not all about setting your tongue on fire. The heat should be bold, yes, but it should also be balanced. Which brings us to our next point, the sweetness. This is where the sugar comes in. It's the yin to the pepper's yang, the cooling salve to its fiery burn. The sweetness should be subtle, just enough to take the edge off the heat without overpowering it. Then we have the tartness from the lime. This is the bright spark that lifts the sauce and keeps it from becoming too heavy. It's a splash of sunshine that adds a refreshing zing, a tangy twist that makes the sauce pop. Lastly, the aromatic spices. This is where the magic happens. The spices are the backbone of the sauce, the thread that ties all the other flavors together. They add depth and complexity, transforming the sauce from a simple condiment into a culinary masterpiece. So, take a taste, savor it. Let the flavors dance on your tongue. Is it too hot? Add a bit more sugar. Not tangy enough? Squeeze in a little more lime. Lacking in depth? Toss in a pinch more spices. Don't be afraid to play around. Experiment. Adjust. Remember, the beauty of homemade jerk sauce is the ability to tailor it to your taste buds. So go ahead, make it your own. After all, the best jerk sauce is the one that makes your taste buds do a happy dance. So, what have we learned about making our own jerk sauce? We've journeyed through the process of creating a flavorful, authentic Jamaican jerk sauce from scratch, discovering that it's not just a sauce, but a celebration of taste, culture, and culinary craft. The key to achieving that perfect balance of heat, sweetness, and spice lies in the quality of our ingredients and our respect for tradition, while also leaving room for a bit of modern culinary creativity. Remember, our homemade jerk sauce began with fresh, quality ingredients. The fiery Scotch bonnet peppers, the fragrant allspice berries, the aromatic thyme, and the zesty citrus juices. Each ingredient plays a pivotal role in creating a symphony of flavors that is uniquely Caribbean. Then, we embarked on the process of making the sauce. We combined, blended, and simmered, creating magic in our kitchen. This process taught us patience, as good things indeed take time. The slow simmer allows the flavors to blend beautifully, creating a sauce that is rich, complex, and full of depth. We learned that balance is critical in creating the perfect jerk sauce. The heat of the peppers, the sweetness from the brown sugar, the tang from the vinegar and citrus, and the earthiness of the spices all create a harmony of flavors that dance on the tongue. But perhaps the most important lesson is this: cooking should be an adventure. Don't be afraid to experiment with your jerk sauce. Add a touch more of this, a little less of that, until you create a sauce that is uniquely yours. Play with the ingredients. Twist the tradition. After all, the best recipes are those that evolve with us, reflecting our personal tastes and culinary journey. With this knowledge, you're well on your way to creating delicious meals with your homemade jerk sauce. Happy cooking!
Ever tried Jamaican jerk shrimp before? No? Well, you're in for a treat. Today we're exploring the world of Jamaican cuisine, focusing on the fiery and flavorful jerk shrimp. Originating from the beautiful island of Jamaica, jerk seasoning is a tantalizing blend of spices that can transform any dish. Our recipe combines homemade jerk sauce with Walker's Wood hot and spicy seasoning, offering a taste explosion of pure deliciousness. Ready to turn up the heat in your kitchen? Let's dive into the recipe. First things first, gather all your ingredients. Today, we're crafting a tantalizing Jamaican jerk shrimp with a side of mango avocado salsa. Doesn't that just roll off the tongue? For our star of the show, you'll need a good handful of fresh, juicy shrimp. Next, you'll need some homemade jerk sauce. Don't worry if you don't have a recipe, we'll share ours with you. To spice things up a notch, we're also adding Walker's Wood hot and spicy seasoning. It's a dance of flavors that will make your taste buds do the salsa. Speaking of salsa, let's not forget the accompaniment to our spicy shrimp. For our refreshing mango avocado salsa, you'll need a ripe mango, a creamy avocado, a zesty lime, and a handful of fresh cilantro. Got everything? Great. Now onto the fun part. Now let's kick things off with the shrimp. To start, we need to prepare our shrimp. Make sure you have a clean surface and a sharp knife. It's important to remove the shell and the vein from each shrimp. The vein runs along the back of the shrimp, and it's actually the digestive tract. You can use the tip of your knife to make a shallow cut along the back and pull the vein out. It's a bit fiddly, but it's well worth the effort for the final taste. Next, give your shrimp a good rinse under cold water. This helps to wash away any residue left from the deveining process. Once rinsed, pat them dry with a clean towel. Remember, we want our shrimp as dry as possible so that the marinade can really stick to it. Now comes the fun part, the marinade. In a large bowl, combine your homemade jerk sauce and Walker's Wood hot and spicy seasoning. The jerk sauce brings a beautiful smoky flavor with a hint of sweetness, while the Walker's Wood seasoning adds that extra punch of heat and spice. Mix them together until well combined. Then add your shrimp to this flavorful concoction. Don't be shy, get your hands in there and ensure each and every shrimp is well coated with the marinade. You want it to get into all the nooks and crannies, as this is where the magic happens. Once your shrimp are fully coated, cover the bowl with a cling wrap and let them marinate. Ideally, you want to give it at least an hour, but if you're pressed for time, 30 minutes should do the trick. The longer you let them marinate, the more intense the flavors will be. Just imagine, each bite of shrimp bursting with the flavors of smoky jerk sauce and fiery Walker's Wood seasoning. It's a match made in heaven, isn't it? Once your shrimp is well marinated, set it aside for a bit and let's move on to the salsa. While our shrimp is soaking up all that spicy goodness, we'll prepare a refreshing mango avocado salsa. The beauty of this salsa lies in its simplicity and the harmony of its ingredients, each playing a crucial role in this culinary symphony. The sweetness of the mango, the creaminess of the avocado, and the tangy punch of lime. It's a dance of flavors that will make your taste buds twirl. So let's start with the mango. Choose a ripe one, so its sweetness can balance out the heat of our jerk shrimp. Cut it into small cubes, ensuring each piece carries the essence of this tropical delight. Next, our avocado. Its creamy texture will add a lovely contrast to our salsa. Again, we want this in small cubes, similar in size to our mango. Now let's add a bit of zest and crunch. A finely chopped red onion will do just that. Its sharpness will cut through the sweetness of the mango and the creaminess of the avocado, adding an extra layer of complexity to our salsa. Then, we'll throw in some chopped fresh cilantro. Its distinctive, aromatic flavor will lift up the salsa, bringing a refreshing note to the mix. Finally, to bind all these flavors together, we'll squeeze in the juice of a lime. Its tangy acidity will enhance the sweetness of the mango, the richness of the avocado, and the sharpness of the onion, creating a perfect balance. Now, mix everything together gently, allowing each ingredient to mingle and get to know each other. The colors, the textures, the flavors, it's a sight to behold and a taste to savor. Remember, salsa is not just a side dish. It's a character in our meal that can hold its own. It's vibrant, it's fresh, and it's ready to make our jerk shrimp truly sing. With the salsa ready, it's time to cook our shrimp. Our shrimp has been marinating and is ready for the heat, so let's get our grill or stovetop sizzling. We're not just cooking here, we're embarking on a culinary adventure. Imagine the heat of Jamaica, the sizzle of the grill, and the aroma of our homemade jerk sauce wafting through the air. We'll start by setting our grill or stovetop to a medium-high heat. If you're using a stovetop, a cast iron skillet or a non-stick pan will work just fine. We want to make sure it's hot, but not too hot. After all, we're not looking to burn our shrimp. We want them beautifully seared, locking in all that delicious jerk flavor. Once our cooking surface is hot enough, we'll add our marinated shrimp. Be sure to spread them out evenly so they don't crowd each other. Now this is where the magic happens. As the heat hits the shrimp, it begins to sear the jerk seasoning onto the shell, creating a beautiful crust that's packed full of flavor. Remember, shrimp cook quickly, so we need to keep a keen eye on them. We're looking for that gorgeous pink color and a slight curl. That's the telltale sign that our shrimp are cooked to perfection. Give them a quick flip halfway through, ensuring an even cook and a balanced infusion of our jerk seasoning. The aroma should be absolutely intoxicating by now, a heady mix of spices and succulent shrimp. Once our shrimp are done, we'll remove them from the heat promptly. Overcooking shrimp is a cardinal sin in any kitchen, and we certainly don't want to commit that here. Remember, the residual heat will continue to cook them slightly even after they're off the grill or stovetop. Now isn't that a sight for sore eyes? Our beautifully cooked, jerk-seasoned shrimp, ready to be the star of our dish. The anticipation is almost too much to bear, isn't it? But we're not quite done yet. Once your shrimp is cooked perfectly, it's time to plate up. Now for the grand finale, serving our delicious Jamaican jerk shrimp. The moment we've all been waiting for. Serving is more than just piling food onto a plate. It's a culinary art, a final touch that can transform a meal into an experience. Let's start with our star of the show, the Jamaican jerk shrimp. Remember to serve it hot, right off the stove. The aroma of the homemade jerk sauce and Walker's Wood hot and spicy seasoning mingling together is nothing short of mouth-watering. It's a scent that promises a meal full of flavor and character. Next, we have our vibrant mango avocado salsa. This isn't just a side dish, it's a balancing act. The coolness of the avocado and the sweetness of the mango work in harmony to temper the heat of the jerk shrimp, bringing a refreshing contrast that makes every bite a delight. Spoon generous dollops of the salsa next to the shrimp, or if you prefer a bit of whimsy, serve it in a hollowed-out half of an avocado. Presentation is key. Arrange the shrimp in a circular pattern on a warm plate. This not only keeps the shrimp hot longer, but also gives the dish a professional look. You can garnish with a sprig of fresh cilantro or parsley to add a pop of color. Now let's talk about sides. While our jerk shrimp and mango avocado salsa are already a match made in culinary heaven, additional sides can elevate this meal even further. Consider serving with a side of coconut rice to add a touch of creaminess and a hint of sweetness. Or perhaps some roasted plantains, their caramelized edges and soft centers providing a delightful textural contrast to the shrimp. And don't forget the beverages. A tropical-themed cocktail or a cool, crisp lager would pair beautifully with this dish, complementing its heat and adding to the overall dining experience. Remember, the joy of cooking isn't just about the act itself, but also about the delight of sharing your creations with others. The love and care you put into preparing this meal will shine through in every bite. And there you have it, Jamaican jerk shrimp with mango avocado salsa. A perfect combination of heat, sweetness, and a burst of flavors. Enjoy your meal, and until next time, keep cooking with love and spice.
Crisp, cold, and undeniably refreshing, there's nothing quite like a Jamaican red stripe beer. Perfectly paired with the fiery heat of jerk chicken, it's a taste sensation that transports you straight to the heart of Jamaica. A thirst-quenching delight that stands the test of time. Red Stripe, the original Jamaican lager, it's more than just a beer, it's an experience. So when summer comes around, remember to keep it cool, keep it light, and keep it Red Stripe. Expect good things, expect great tastes. 5min2 video. 5min2.